Campfire question. Fred Hauser asks, where have you camped overnight in emergency situations when you couldn't make your planned destination? An excellent question, Fred. In this video, we're going to give you 10 places where you can camp or really park your RV overnight for free. Number one, and number one for a reason, Walmart.
You do need to call first before you go and park there just to make sure that it's okay. It's pretty much widespread nationwide, especially if you're kind of in the middle of the country. If you're in the Northeast, you'll have more problems. If you're in California or Oregon, you'll have even more problems. But if you're anywhere in the middle, you'll probably be okay. Yeah,
we have two really lengthy videos about parking overnight at Walmart. So if you haven't seen those videos, go watch those and you will get your PhD in Walmart overnight parking. We've done it from the Deep South all the way up to Alaska and many points in between. The more urban the area, the harder it's going to be to stop at Walmart. Number two, Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
That's right. In recent years, Cracker Barrel has really been embracing RV campers. In fact, when you see billboards for Cracker Barrel, you may notice a little RV symbol tucked away in the corner of the billboard. That indicates that it's an RV-friendly Cracker Barrel. We have stopped at Cracker Barrel before. It's probably a good practice to ask the management if it's okay to park overnight there. And if you're stopping there, go inside and get Grandpa's old-timey sausage biscuit breakfast or whatever it is.
Or buy something in the store. Thank them for the service of allowing you to park there overnight by spending some money. And most of them advertise that they have RV parking, so there'll be like designated RV parking spaces for you, so you're not going to be taking up spaces for other people or that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel parking lots can get a little crowded, so it's not nearly like stopping at a Walmart where you have just acres and acres of asphalt. However, they do have bus parking and RV parking in a lot of Cracker Barrels.
And I think it's one of those places where, you know, you roll in kind of later in the evening and you try to leave as early in the morning as you can.
Right after the biscuits come out of the oven.
That's right.
Number three, Cabelas.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cabelas. If you're in the West, you know, Cabelas has these huge sporting goods stores. They're really nice stores with large asphalt parking lots, and most of them are very RV friendly.
In fact, some of them even have dump stations and fresh water that you can use for free.
So you can't get much more RV friendly than that.
Yeah.
You need to probably call in advance and make sure that it's okay. But I know, for example, we've stopped at the Billings, Montana Cabelas and at the Idaho Falls, Idaho Cabelas and stayed overnight. Go inside, buy some socks or something, would you? Number four, and this is an often overlooked RV opportunity, casinos.
Yep.
So long as you don't have a gambling addiction, casinos can make a great place to stop overnight with your RV. They're not always free, but some of them do offer complimentary RV parking on the assumption that you're going to come inside and spend a little money.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily even have to gamble. Yeah. Most of these casinos have some pretty decent restaurants inside. Go inside and treat yourself to a steak and lobster dinner.
For $9.99.
Yeah, I mean, quite often the food is very reasonably priced because they want to lure you into that casino.
Yeah, we've done it several times out in like California, Nevada area, and then most recently we did it in southern Alabama.
And in Louisiana.
Louisiana and parts of Mississippi, so there are actually more casinos than you think of because of Indian reservations and that sort of thing in a lot of places. So.
And sometimes casinos will have dedicated little RV camping areas and they will say, okay, you could pay your fee to stay in the camping area or you could actually overnight park for free just out in the parking lot.
Camping.
So if you prefer to do that, many casinos will offer you that option.
Yep, we've done it several times.
Number five, rest areas.
I use the term rest very loosely. It is a safe place to stop for the night, so if you're kind of in an emergency situation, that's the most important thing. But you don't really get a lot of rest in rest areas because a lot of times you've got the 18-wheelers coming in, they stop for like 2 hours and then they leave again. So they're coming in, hitting the brakes, so that makes a lot of noise, and then they're cranking their trucks back up 2 hours later.
And sometimes the trucks just idle overnight. If they're the big refrigerated trucks, you will hear those things rumble all night long. Anytime you're parked right next to a large 18-wheeler that's running, you're going to be awakened. You're not going to have a very peaceful night of sleep.
Yeah, unless you have some earplugs. So pack some earplugs and it'll help.
So it probably depends on the location of the rest area.
Yeah,
the closer you are to an interstate, then the busier that rest area is going to be, and the more big 18-wheeler trucks are going to be in there. But when you get into more rural areas, if you can find those rest areas on the smaller highways, those can be more peaceful. Number 6, something we're calling pullouts or pullovers, and these are basically places on the highway that you will find in rural areas, especially north of the border. Like if you're in Yukon Territory or British Columbia or on your way up to Alaska, anywhere in Alaska, you'll find these huge patches of asphalt, and there's no problem with parking there overnight. Now, when you're in the lower 48, it's much more difficult to do that.
Yeah.
There have been times when we have just parked on a city street, which is a similar type thing, just overnight, but it's...
Absolutely. As long as it's free parking and you're not violating any codes. We have parked overnight in a lot of cities, actually.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those situations where you usually arrive after dark, late at night, and you pull out earlier in the morning.
Right.
So that you're the lowest impact visitor.
And a side street is preferable just because, you know, there's less traffic and, you know, fewer people and that sort of thing. And it's free parking area or even paid parking. We've paid meter parking before.
Number 7, shopping malls.
Which sounds odd, but there are actually a lot of shopping malls that welcome RVers because they want you to come in and spend money. And if you talk to management, sort of explain, hey, we're having an issue, is it okay if we park here overnight? A lot of times they're going to say yes.
That's right. In Eugene, Oregon, the big mall there has overflow parking kind of across the street from the mall that they dedicate to RVers who are coming through the area. And it's really a great place to stop. And I think they have a cap on the amount of time you can stay there. You could probably stay there for 2 nights.
Yeah, they come around and register your name and take your tag number, and they have security that patrols the parking lot, and you're welcome.
Number 8. BLM land.
So this is Bureau of Land Management land. This requires a little more homework. You're not just gonna pull off on any old exit and find BLM land. But if you happen to be out west where BLM land seems to be more plentiful, your odds are probably much higher in finding a safe spot to park overnight.
And this, for example, is what people do at Quartzsite, Arizona. There are huge swaths of BLM land there where you can park for up to 2 weeks, pretty much for free every night.
Yeah.
Number 9, gas stations. Now, gas stations are sort of an almost last resort for us, but we have found ourselves a couple of times in situations where we had no other choice except stop at a gas station. And I'm thinking of one time in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Every campground was booked.
We probably stopped at a dozen campgrounds and they were all booked. None of them had any overflow camping spots. And at this point it was like 11 o'clock at night. And it was getting to the point where it was dangerous to still be driving because we were just so tired. And we talked to the lady in the gas station and we said, hey, could we park out back behind your gas station until like 8 o'clock in the morning? And she was like, sure, no problem.
And so occasionally you can stop at a gas station. And that really leads us to the number 10 place on our list where you can park your RV overnight for free. And that would be truck stops.
Yes, and before all you truckers get mad, we're giving this as a last resort option for people. And honestly, if you are in an RV, look at the truck stop and gauge the situation. Because a lot of times truck stops will have the truck stop portion of the truck stop, and then they'll have like cars and RVs on the other side. So if they have that situation, be sure you go to the car and RV side and park on that side where the truckers can't go so that you're not taking a space away from a trucker.
Right. It's very rare that we would stop at a truck stop. And for one thing,
They're really loud.
Noisy. You're not going to get a whole lot of rest really at most truck stops. Secondly, they're often very crowded, and the truckers do need those spaces because they're working and they need a place to stop and rest. Right. So we don't really encourage people to stop at truck stops, but if you are in an emergency situation and you're tired, you don't
somebody's sick, or you've got a flat tire or whatever, or your truck's running hot, you know, things happen.
And a lot of truck stops do have that designated RV section, and so you can just park in the RV parking and have no worries.
Yeah, and if you happen to be somewhere where the truck stop is not really very busy, then I wouldn't feel bad about parking there. It's those truck stops that are obviously just packed to the brim, where every space matters, that I would be more concerned about stopping.
So that's it, guys. 10 places where you can park your RV overnight for free if you find that you need to or in some sort of emergency situation. We have done this in pretty much every state we've taken our RV, even the Northeast, where it's harder to do it in the Northeast.
It's harder to do it.
But we've done it, and I have the video to prove it. So it can be done. You just need to have all these places on your radar screen. If you find yourself in a bind, usually you can find a place where you'll have a safe place to park overnight.
And worst case scenario, if you can't get to any of these places and you need a place to stop, a lot of times you can find an RV park that is close to where you are that will let you come in after hours and just pay in the morning. As
always, thank you for tuning in. We are Sean and Christy. This is Long, Long Honeymoon, which we like to call Low, Low, Ho.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. It means the world to us to have you join us as part of Low, Low, Ho Nation. And also click that little bell icon next to the subscribe button, and you will never miss a Long, Long Honeymoon video because you'll get a notification.
We love and appreciate you.
We sure do. So until next time, what do we say here?
We say,
Low, low,
low, low.